Hello, and welcome to The Spark. This is the show where two moms conversate about the joys and struggles of life and business with strategies to simplify. I'm Nicole Nelson from NicoleNelsonMomCoach.com, and my fellow co-host Danielle Phelps is unable to be here with me today. As a mom, you all know what happens when kids get sick and how just the struggles that come with that. So I want to ask you all to pray for her family and for Danielle as they just struggle with sickness in their family, and for the strength and the peace that just be able to get through the chaos and the messiness of life in this week. So today, though, on episode 6, we are going to be having a member spotlight with Breanna Simkins. And hopefully she can come in. Yes. Okay.
Hi.
Good. Awesome. I've never done a double Facebook Live like this before on Facebook. So I'm so glad it worked. How are you doing?
Awesome. I'm doing well. How are you? Can you hear me?
I can, yes. I'm so glad. Good. Well, we can go ahead and get started right away. Can you introduce us, your name, your personal brand? Just tell us a bit more about yourself.
Awesome. Yes. So I'm Breanna Simkins. I am the owner and founder of the Whole Movement. It's an acronym that stands for Women Helping Ourselves and Others Live Empowered in Excellence. I am a wife and a mother of 2 daughters. One is 11 and the other one is on the way. I'm so excited to be here. I love all things personal development, empowerment, and just the community of women in general.
I'm so glad you're able to join us on here today for sure. So what inspired you and motivated you to create the Whole Movement?
Yeah, so just like everyone else, like we all have, a backstory, we all have a past and things that we've been through in life. And so for me, it was just going through just seasons where I just felt alone, dealing with homelessness and going through abusive, toxic relationships, and just like getting to a place where I felt like, I had no one to talk to about it. I had no support through it. I felt so isolated, and I just felt like, there had to be other women like that were going through things, that were looking for a community for support. And so I wanted to create a space where women could have that community where when they're going through transitions in life, or just needing that support and that love, that they would have a community of women. And so that inspired me to start the Whole Movement, to be able to have that community.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So with that, like, what is one piece of encouragement, or piece of wisdom, or maybe a resource that you have that that you can offer that to someone that's struggling and really needing your expertise?
Yeah. So I would say, just first and foremost, like just kind of like a piece of wisdom, is to just reach out, like to not give up, and to embrace those around you who are there for you, who are there to help. Community, I believe that community can be everything. Like it truly makes a difference in our growth and in our learning. And so that's one thing. And then as far as something that I offered that I just recently launched is a devotional prayer journal. And so it is a devotional that I've been working on for a few years now that I felt like the Lord was putting on my heart to create. It's there as a resource to not only grow closer to the Lord, but to just be able to take that time to grow within yourself and with others. It's something that you can do by yourself or with a group of other women. And it just allows you that time of reflection and just that time to truly just get the word and not, especially when you don't have like a lot of time as moms and businesswomen, like they're just short and sweet devotionals that just kind of give you some reflection time for weekly reflection. And as well as another piece is that I feel really strongly about mother-daughter relationships. And so that was something that as I was going through the different seasons, I had my daughter watching me, and I realized that she was, watching all of this, and I didn't want her to grow up thinking that women are, are like weak and broken, and that they have to put up with these types of things and things like that. And so that was something that the Lord also gave me the strength to be able to be that role model for her. And so that's something that I also have a passion for and that I specialize in is mother daughter. And so
I love that. I know, going back to your first piece of encouragement, wisdom, you talk about community. So was that a piece that you really felt was beneficial in your own life? I know we've talked about it in other shows, and like, what did that look like for you, or even
yeah,
now?
for sure. Just knowing that, um, just knowing that there's others, that you're not alone, basically, like that there's others there that have gone through most of the time the same thing or something similar. It's just, it brings so much peace in knowing that like you're not alone in that. And so for me, it was when I started seeing the connections that were being made. Like for me, I would do live events, and so the women, they would have an opportunity to fellowship together and to do small groups together, and just seeing the friendships and the relationships that would come out of that was just so beautiful, because everyone's story matters, everyone's life matters. And so just hearing the different perspectives from different people and just bringing it all together into a community, it was amazing.
So if someone is struggling, because I know a lot of the time, especially as a stay-at-home mom, it's a struggle to find that community, especially there's a lot of people who are a distance away from friends, or just people in general, or community. What would you say to those women? Like, was it ever a difficulty for you at any season, or have people been more closer to you? I don't, I don't know, that's that question.
Yeah. No, definitely. So one of the obstacles was, just the whole shutdown of everything that happened. I'm in Washington State, and so like we have like the strictest rules, I guess you could say, as far as shutdowns go. And so that was a big deal, because there's like, virtual community is amazing because it's still a lifesaver, but there's nothing like being in person and just having being able to embrace each other with hugs, and just being able to feel the energy in the room. So that was a big obstacle, because mainly our group would meet for events in person. And so when that happened, an obstacle for me was that I had no idea how to do anything virtual. And so it was hard to keep engagement going, and kind of keep the connection going, and it's something that now we're kind of working through, and we're trying to kind of slowly get back to those in-person events. But so for those that are feeling like they're stuck, I would say still participate in the virtual events, because it still keeps that connection, and then you're able to branch off from that and just kind of have like those conversations outside of the group. And I think it's still good. I think any type of connection is going to be better than isolation and just feeling alone through your difficult season, for
That's so
sure.
true. It's focusing on what can be done about a situation versus about all the negatives about it.
Right.
It changes the perspective for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so I know you mentioned that as an obstacle. Were there any other obstacles that you faced, and then any more wisdom or advice that you would give trying to overcome those?
Yeah. So just kind of like I mentioned earlier, just in life in general, just going through rough seasons that that make you feel like you just want to quit, that you just want to give up, that you start believing the lies of that you're not good enough to do this, you're not qualified, you're not this, you're not that. But when those thoughts start to come, instead of allowing those to take root and living in that negativity, just continuing to press forward, and continuing to remember that that's not who you are, and that we can all grow through what we go through, and that there's always freedom. And so I just like to encourage everyone to just embrace their true identities, their wholeness, and that we are not the broken situations that we go through. That is not our identity. That is not who we're called to be, and that is not what we're rooted in. And so just a reminder, just to be empowered, and just remember that we're created for greatness, we're created for more, and to not give up.
So, okay, so like I know when you say like I get it when you say like understand your identity, but what would be in your thoughts, what would be that first step someone would need to take to really embrace who they are and to really even understand who they are? Because sometimes it's like, well, I've been a mom for so long, or I've kind of forgotten who I am, or I don't have those same interests or hobbies because I'm in a totally different season of life, and I'm not really sure how to step outside of that or to really understand who I am right now in this season. So, do you have any thoughts on that, or any bits of advice for someone who is kind of going through that, working through that, I guess?
Right. No, that's so good. Yes, because I've been through that type of a season as well. But just to take a step back, and it's going to be really important, as hard as it is, to kind of have that alone time, that reflection time, to be able to take the time to list out strengths, like basically to do the work. I guess I would say that you're going to have to actually look inside yourself and see, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what kind of things do I like to do, what don't I like to do, just getting to know yourself all over again, and just kind of pouring that out so that you can see a tangible like paper or whatever the case may be. If you're more of a speaker, maybe like voice notes to yourself, or like we all learn in different ways, but drawing pictures, whatever helps. But I feel like having that tangible visual that you can look at and be able to dissect is a good place to start. And then obviously, like, as Christians, of course, just getting into your word, and just really praying, just asking the Lord to show you and to bring that clarity to you about, reminding you who he created you to be, and reminding you of those things that maybe you've forgotten about and that you've gotten lost in just the day-to-day things of life. And just really just taking that time. I really believe that, like, the devotional prayer journal that I talked about, it's kind of a starting point that will give you that time to be able to reflect and kind of reveal certain things. I believe that when we get certain things revealed to us, it'll kind of all piece together like a puzzle, and just come together into who you're created to be.
Yeah, I love it. It is so important, and I feel like to take that time, and I feel like as moms that we have so many excuses as to why to not take the time, instead of realizing that it is because of those excuses that we need to take that time even more. And it's like Jesus himself, even in his busyness of his ministry, he stepped away for some quiet, some prayer, some reflection. And I feel like that's a really good just example that we need to embody is, we are called, we have a ministry to our families, a ministry to our children, just within our own homes. Um, and taking that time does more for our families than we ever imagined, until like we finally realize that after we actually take that time. But like you said, like it really is so important to reflect, and to ask God to just fill us with his wisdom and his discernment in that. So yeah, that's so beautiful. I love that. I'm sure, I know your devotional is, I'm sure, helping so many women. Um, And with that, then too, so where could our members go and view that resource, view the devotional, or anything else that you might have to offer them right now?
Yeah, nice. So on my Facebook page, so if you just go to the whole movement on Facebook, you will find my page there, and you'll be able to follow along and just get just different updates and just support and just be a part of the community. That would be great. But you'll be able to see everything that's going on, the different resources, and just decide if want to join the community. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Do you have a link directly to the devotional as well?
Yes, actually. Do I need to type that in the comments or?
I'll get it from you after, and we'll put it in the
Okay.
comments, or you can put it
Okay.
in the comments. That and your page. I think that would be really
Perfect.
helpful.
Okay.
We can put both in the comments afterwards. Just that'll probably be easiest.
Okay.
Awesome. I'm so glad you were able to come on today. It's been so good to meet you. I've been talking in the background, and so it's finally good to meet you face to face.
Yes.
So
Sure.
thank you so much for hopping on with me. And again, I'm sorry Danielle couldn't be here, but it was, we all as moms, it's so important to again take that time to take care of our families, and that's what we're all about here, putting faith and family first. So yeah, so thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Buddy, shh. Of course, my son's in the background, jumping all over the place. So, all right. Well, if you are ready for more, Danielle and I specialize in helping stay-at-home moms build six-figure businesses while keeping faith and family first. So if you'd like further support in your life and business, you can fill out the support form at passionprofitceo.com/support, and we will then be in touch and help you figure out those next steps together. Next week, we are taking a break for Thanksgiving so that you can focus on your family, because again, that is so important. So I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you again in 2 weeks. Of course, we'll be in the group, but until then, have a great week.
Awesome.